Yeah, what's up? It's your boy, ripping that good KC. Get a hold of the scenery. Yeah, check it out. I'ma ride on the tea party. Yeah, I'ma ride on the tea party. Hell yeah, I'ma ride on the tea party. I say yeah, I'ma ride on the tea party. See, they wanna change things in the White House. Can't be good, don't wanna work it out. And see, I'm tired, see y'all wanna, hey, change the game. Hey, bro, when they get it, gonna be same, man. I ain't lying, see, they wanna do better though. Promising, hey, better for the folks. Nah, really, they gonna do what's wrong. Yeah, you think the day, the day's long. What's up? See, they wanna do what's bad. What's up? You the healthcare, that make me mad. What's up? How you feel about this, dog? What's up? Ride on the ass, hey, y'all. Yeah, I'ma ride on the tea party. Yeah, I'ma ride on the tea party. Yeah, I'ma ride on the tea party. Yeah, I'ma ride. I'ma ride on the tea party. Yeah, I'ma ride on the tea party. Yeah, I'ma ride on the tea party. Yeah, I'ma ride on you. I'ma ride on you. See, don't hesitate. Yeah, it's pain, homie. I'm trying to spit game, homie. And see, they don't want us twin, yeah, they Republicans, yeah, they want the big money, yeah, what's up, the big dog, yeah, that's what's up, they want to straight up get paid, it ain't about us, homie, we gon' get played, what's up, hey, homie, be like me, let's ride on the tea party, let's ride on the tea party, yeah, let's ride on the tea party. Yeah, let's ride, hey, let's ride on the tea party. Yeah, let's ride on the tea party. Hell yeah, let's ride on the tea party. Hell yeah, let's ride. Yeah, Democrat bitch, all in your mouth, Midwest.